Hello everyone. You don't have to excuse me, I'm feeling a little under the weather, so if I sound congested, that's probably the reason why, so I'll probably have to stop periodically to clear my sinuses of mucus. So, with that, let's continue our game of Bioshock. We are at Proving Grounds. Good old Dr. Suchong.
The little ones will lead you to Fontaine.
Hurry!
But you
Hurry,
must
Mr.
protect them.
Bubbles.
Hey, strange boy.
Hurry, Mr. B. I can see the angels dancing in the sky.
That's it, kid. It's been a long road. You don't even remember most of it. Put you on a sub when you were just a sprout.
Angels are waiting for our kisses. Don't be a slowpoke, Mr. B. Angels don't wait for slowpokes. Time to go, Mr. B.
No, not really.
Hurry, Mr. B. I can see the angels dancing in the sky.
I really wound you up for that wife and child bit. Oh, me poor Moira. I me wee baby Patrick. Maybe one day I'll get me a real family. They play well with the suckers.
Don't be a slowpoke, Mr. B. Angels don't wait for slowpokes.
Only the little ones can open these doors. You must protect them.
And she's not following me.
Angels are waiting for
I want to go to the UN vent.
Time to go, Mr. B. Hop, hop. Mr. B, no time to waste. Don't be
Even
a
though they are
slowpoke.
physically free and they need to gather, Suchong's mental conditioning still holds them to their terrible past. For still such a truth, you can never know.
Mr. B, no time to waste. This angel, look, dancing. Come where I can see you.
getting warmed up!
Don't be a slowpoke, Mr. B. Hop up, Mr. B. No time to wait. Hurry, Mr. B. Hurry! Hurry, Mr. Bubbles! Time to go, Mr. B.
Alright, let's hack this. Might as well use the resistors every time.
Don't be a slowpoke. Angels don't wait for slowpokes.
Watch out! For certain, their harnesses will draw the attention of this rifle.
Oh, why? Whoa, she's really low.
Angels don't wait for slowpokes.
Angels. Fuck. Didn't uncover the wrong one until like way too late. Unless I missed one.
Don't be a slow. Angels don't wait for slowpokes.
Ignore alarm anonymous empty parasites. Rapture is on
Hurry,
the
Mr.
rise.
Beast. Angels are waiting.
Never spliced up once the whole time I was down here in this aquarium. Figured it was bad to mix business with pleasure, but
Hurry, Mr.
to
Beast.
get all the nose candy and floor polish I've been wasting time with, this stuff is the mother's milk.
Come on! Stop! Stop! Fucking she's about to die because she's about to die because she stupidly walked through the fire.
No problem is with others. They are as vulnerable as any child. If a little one falls, you can call for another at the vent.
Oh, come on!
Even one is a sin.
You know, I took a lot of unnecessary damage from that fire because of the stupid fucking child blocked my way. Like, this is where the AI is showing its, like, antiquity. Like, the pathing is just bad if it doesn't get around the player. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go back to the UN vent. Get more stuff. Wait, is that health? I've already hacked that one. No, I just went backwards. So I went forward.
You want more?
Alright, what's back here? Let's use the napalm. Because there's a ton of it. Let's go back to that UN vent.
You got no crank in here. Hey.
Let's hack this and then head back and summon a little sister. I thought you had just one little sister, so... God, they're flimsy. And they're dumb, too. What's around over there? Oh, you can't go over there. Yeah, I guess you have to come up from the other door. Kinda neat. Can you do it on this side? Alright. Alright, so where are we? The door somewhere? No. So where's the goal? Goal is that way, so I have to cross this room. Oh, that's right, I haven't been in this room yet. On the way trip back. Alright, so this is the way.
draw the attention of this wyvern.
I see Adam, Mr. Blue.
Attack this now. Oh shit. A lot of first aid kits that I haven't need to use any of. Stupid! Stop hindering my movement, please! I almost got fucking nailed because you got in my way. It's like, have we not learned from Half-Life 2 that stop making, like, followers, like, stick right up your butt? Because you know, part of combat is freedom of movement. And brain-dead AI is not conducive to that. Why can't, like, you take the same AI approach as Elizabeth, where she cowers in a corner while I'm trying to fight everything? Elizabeth is far less annoying than this little sister. I dislike escort quests in any game they appear in, because they're stuck every single time. Wallet is full. Apparently there's a maximum amount of money you can have.
Fontaine is nearby. You are reaching close now.
Let's buy stuff. We have tons of money. How many heat-seeking RPGs do we have?
There! You must use the needle of the little sister to drain Fontaine of his atoms. It is the only way to defeat him.
Welcome to the Circus of Value!
What are you waiting for?
Kill your cravings at the Circus of Value!
I can pick one of these. Well, let's do some exploration. There's some areas I haven't seen yet. First, let's watch this. Let's save and then watch this.
The illusion of choice is a thinly veiled dynamic that drives many single-player gaming experiences. And while many developers spend a lot of time trying to convince players that choice is real and authentic in their games, the truth more often is that choice is a superficial concept in gaming narrative. Bioshock confronted this idea head-on, searing into our minds a innocuous three-word phrase with an unforgettable new meaning. Would you kindly? Of course, one of the most memorable moments in the game is the "would you kindly" phrase and the reveal of how that's been motivating the player throughout the entire game. It's still, to me, one of the most classic kind of narrative moments in games in the past decade. What's interesting about that phrase is that it didn't always start like that. Can you tell us sort of about the evolution of sort of the the conditioning of the player? And there was once "Excelsior" was the phrase once.
Yeah, this is. I'm trying to recall some of this. So we had the idea, because we had the Andrew Ryan scene very early, and we knew sort of all the events that would happen. There were phrases before there was "would you kindly." The notion existed and what it meant and what it was, but we didn't actually have the phrase "would you kindly" until later. So we had a bunch of terms we threw in there. And like "Excelsior" was it for one point. That's probably comes from my Stan Lee fanboyism.
Was that like so throughout the game? It would have been like "Excelsior."
Just randomly
there,
say
there
that.
are some things when you're making games you just sort of throw in as like, we need
Sounds
something.
cool in
We
a
need
concept.
Why don't you
something
head
here.
over there, "Excelsior"?
And then it sits there
Yeah.
for a year.
Right.
And then all of a sudden you kind of forget it's not good, right?
Right.
And then until somebody comes along and says, dude.
Seriously?
Yeah.
what,
Or you meant it
Excelsior?
to be like a stub in. You never
Right.
meant it
Yeah.
to actually gain traction, and then you're like, oh crap.
But that sense of some phrase or word being repeated throughout the game that you wouldn't really realize its meaning
Yes.
Until later, that was there very early on.
Yes, yeah. And the fact that you would have something that seemed like a non-thing and then came back at you like a freight train later on it was there from pretty early.
Sit, would you kindly? Stand, would you kindly? Run. Stop. Turn. A man chooses. A slave obeys.
So that phrase evolved, but talk about that, the sort of meta-narrative of, being in a game, thinking that you have a sense of choice and making these decisions, but then obviously realizing that the player ultimately didn't have choice or was conditioned in a way that they would react to that. That was, sort of a new idea for a game. Where did that come from on your side, kind of? Was there sort of a deeper sort of, meaning behind it?
No, look, I think I was always interested in the concept, whether it's, Oedipus, not to get too pointy-headed here, but Oedipus sort of thinking he has, I'm going to leave, this city and go to another city because there's been this prophecy about me and I'm going to avoid my fate and I'm in complete control, and then finding out he's not in control at all, to the Manchurian Candidate, which is a story I love about, somebody who you find out is just a puppet, living a life of a man, and Fight Club. I always love those kind of stories about who am I and what is my agency in this world, because look, we struggle. I think everybody struggles though. How much do we really have control over, and how much is our boss or parents?
The answer
or
is
whatever
not
telling
much.
us what to do. So that seemed like a natural thing for a story, and because it came from movies, that idea a lot, and plays, I don't think it was very. There was a lot of. It hadn't been explored in games really, and games are particularly interesting because
you feel like you are interacting with choice,
and you're really being, most games, especially at the time, you're really just being railroaded down a corridor. It's very easy to underestimate gamers, and I think probably I did a little of my own underestimation there, that it would be a little too pointy-headed for people, but people seem to really engage, because it spoke to an experience they had, a struggle as a gamer they've always had, which is like, I want to control, but how much control do I really have in this game?
True. And Sean, it was also something that, was a great surprise when you played through the game, and I'm sure even for people on the team, did everyone know that when Ken was sort of doing it, or did it was revealed as people played through it?
I think, at some point the entire team knew. It wasn't, it was something that was talked about with a smaller group before, it was brought to the entire team. Early on, when you heard the idea, and you just kind of clicks, right? You're like, okay, I totally get this.
Did people get it? I seem to remember people looking at me like I was like a lunatic.
Maybe not the specifics, and maybe it's the Excelsior, or maybe you're talking about the Excelsior time, but the idea that you don't really have choice, and exactly like you said, you played through how many video games, and everybody's game is going to end the same way. You're going to kill these people, you're going to pass through these checkpoints, and you think you have a choice, but ultimately the only real choice is stop playing the game. So the idea that we're kind of like taking that on resonated. Now the actual...
or just stand there and refuse to do the test in test chamber like 10 in Portal 2. There's an achievement for that.
Here's how I remember it, and I could be, I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I can remember being so surprised by the outside reaction, because I remember the internal reaction being completely nobody connected or engaged to it. We worked on it.
Yeah.
And so I was kind of surprised by the outside reaction, because I kind of thought it was like, as I said, it's a bit academic, right?
Yeah.
And it could also be a function of...
We're playing it close to the vest.
I could be misremembering it, or it could also just be a function of nobody making the game had the experience of playing it through and getting to that moment.
That's what I mean, like it was revealed to them in advance of really playing it, so it wasn't that surprise.
Yeah, they had seen it in all its really half-assed, development stages on the way.
Out of order.
Yeah, out of order and all that.
And it's not really something you can play test over an afternoon, because it takes a little while to get to that point.
You need to lack the knowledge about what the game is to be able to sort of have that experience all the way through. I know you guys have talked about the idea of Atlas, the voice actor changing, and it was, I guess, very important that you nailed that actor, right? And you trusted that actor until there was sort of the Fontaine reveal and sort of understanding that.
Yes, trust was everything there, right? And so there was something about either the actor or the writing or the accent that just people immediately said, this guy's no good.
Right.
When the first Atlas we had, because you have to trust this guy, and if you don't, there's no trust. There's no punch in the gut. I think we've really focused on making him have personal stakes in the story as well. That he had his family trapped. Of course, it was all fiction, right? But he had skin in the game. He sort of spoke to you as a friend, and especially because the whole world was so hostile to you. I think it took a while to get that exactly right.
Listen, I've got a family. I need to get them out of here. But the splicers have cut me off from them. If you can reach them in Neptune's bounty, then maybe, just maybe... I know you must feel like the unluckiest man in the world right now, but you're the only hope I'll ever see my wife and child again.
Sean, what do you hope is the kind of lasting legacy of Bioshock? 10 years hence, a lot of things you guys were doing or have sort of become common now, right? With upgrades and moral choices in games and whatnot. But it was really pioneering work a decade ago. When you reflect on it, what do you hope people remember the game for sort of pushing forward?
For me, it's telling a story with the medium and how we used everything available to us to tell that story. We used the environment to set up the backstory of Rapture and really create a sense of space, which I think is vitally important to getting the players to trust that, to sit down and kind of like just be in the space and let these things happen. Even the radio logs, the rudimentary animation that we had at the time. I mean, we really sat down with the tools that we had and at our disposal and tried to tell a meaningful story. Maybe not meaningful, but something that would be memorable to people that they could take away and, like you said earlier, have that water cooler moment where they're excited enough to talk about it after they put the controller down. So for me, I think the legacy is that it was a story well told.
For me, it was a sense of place, being like the Rapture is a real thing, even though it's not. It's actually a very crude, from the time, a relatively crude bunch of polygons and texture maps. It's only, the original game is only in 720, I think. And I played a lot of it when we were testing it on a 14-inch, SD television. That it still felt like a sense of place in the music and the characters, that it's a real place. And I think that my memories of the Bioshock games is that I take away that Rapture's a real place and Elizabeth's a real person. Those are the two sort of big things that stick with me with those two games, and that's sort of what I'll always, carry forward with me in my life.
Bioshock is, it's a place, but as we saw with Infinite, I mean, it's an idea and it's a sort of a type of game. I think a lot of people say oh, this is a type of experience. When you think about, your career, where you guys want to go, I mean, that idea of those types of games, do you miss it now that you've sort of moved on to other things now, or do you feel like it's sort of, you've closed that chapter?
I mean, it's always a part of what you do. Like, System Shock 2 was a part of Bioshock, but it wasn't System Shock 2. It was you're growing past that and trying out new things. I think Bioshock and Bioshock Infinite, and even going back to SWAT 4, those will always be a part of my experience as a game developer and what we're trying to do with the medium. So I don't think it's something that you just draw a line and say, we'll never return, because there's always lessons that you can learn and things that you bring with you to the next project that you're working on.
Yeah. I don't think the new game is going to, people are not going to be surprised that this game is new games from us. They're going to see a lot of what we had done before in terms of world building and aspects of storytelling. The goal is to sort of, move away from the you really have no choice kind of thing, and that's a very, 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 very hard problem, which we spent years working on. But we're building upon a foundation of stuff we've done before, just trying to go in a different direction with it. But it's always going to be part of our DNA.
City where the artist would not fear the censor, where the scientist would not be bound by petty morality, where the great would not be constrained by the small. And with the sweat of your brow, Rapture can become your city as well.
All right. Ah, poor kitty cat. There's all the way back there. All the way back there. Let's go back there, because I can't have any grade rooms. so we have to... This is the right way. What's in here? Whoa.
I'm dizzy, I'm nauseous, and sometimes I'm even saying things that aren't there.
That's just the last bit blues, man. You just need to slow down a bit with the splicing. Before you know it, you'll be as right as rain. Remember, a
Let's hack this. I'll get a little bit of Eve out of it. Fuck. Fuck it, I'll just use an auto hack. I have plenty of stuff to make them.
Welcome to the Circus of Value!
Oh, why not? A waste of one, but whatever. Alright, so I believe that's everything. So let's go...
Do you love me now? My heart!
Let's hack this. Because every little bit helps. If I get to the end of the level that I've already cleared everything from. let's see what we have in terms of tonics. Well, let's get rid of Berserk. Or Enrage. Security Bullseye. We'll definitely do Security Bullseye there. Okay, so... let's change this one to... wait, we don't have... fuck. I don't have the one that freezes. Huh. Thought I picked that up. Oh well. I have cold weapons, so... let's see what we have for physical tonics. Let's change this out for... oh, no, that's physical. Let's do combat tonics. Let's change that for Frozen Field. On both Frozen Field, both Inferno. Both. What else do we have? 4 things. Let's drop Armored Shell 1 for Human Inferno. I do want 2 electric, I think. Let's do that. Let's just go with the frozen field as well. Like, just save myself from all the elemental damage. First aid kits also give you a large amount of E. That's useful. Every time you hack something, you gain a large amount of E. No, let's not do that. Favor. Pound. Now we can drop that one. Do sport boost twice. Fast movement's always good. I think this section is fine. Plasmids. Guess that's gonna have to do. Alright. Alright.
What are you waiting for? Pick up the needle.
Where's the needle? Oh.
Fontaine waits above.
Let's save a new save.
There will be no going back from here. Make sure you are ready to face him before moving on.
Alright, this is the end.
I remember when me and the crowd put you in that sub. You were no more than 2. You were my ace in the hole, but you were also the closest thing I ever had to a son. And that's why this hurts. Betrayal, kid. Life ain't strictly business.
Alright, cough drop.
Need a minute. And I'm gonna cut you into bits. Come again! Here it is! You think I'm alone in this world? I got more than enough mugs to watch my recharge.
Let's go with security bullseye.
Catch my breath. And you and all their little heads. You think I'm alone in this world? I got more than enough mugs to watch my back while I recharge.
Not bad.
I had you built. I sent you topside. I called you back, showed you what you was capable of. Even that life you thought you had, that was something I dreamed up and had tattooed inside your head. Now, if you don't call that family, I don't know what is. And now.
crocodiles are vicious. Adorable, but vicious.
They offered you this city. And you refused it. And what did you do instead? What I've come to expect of you. You saved them. You gave them the one thing that was stolen from them. A chance. A chance to learn. To find love. To live. And in the end, what was your reward? You never said. But I think I know. A family.
I like that ending. Now I have to play through again, harvesting every single one to get the other ending. Why do I sense that Jack becomes a tyrant? And well, this is one more game removed from my backlog, and my goal was to finish this before Far Cry 5 comes out, so goal accomplished, but I might be starting Bioshock 2 at some point. You know, this is fantastic music. This is really good music, actually. Also, the moon would never actually be that big in the night sky. Games tend to blow up the size of the moon bigger than what it actually is. It would just be, you know, a dot. A big dot. A circle. A white circle. Or half moon, or whatever, depending on the phase of the moon. It wouldn't be that big, though. That's way too many degrees of the field of view. I mean, if the moon were actually that close to Earth, it would be probably destroyed by tidal forces. And it would also wreak havoc on Earth, too. don't know if there was a director's commentary in the last level. I should double check. Is it loop? Oh, whatever. Alright, let's look at the director's commentary. Yeah, we have all of them. So, that is it. That is the end of the game. Excuse me. That is the end of the game. So, shortest stream tonight. But, I'll be back next time. I have no idea what game I'm going to play next. Maybe Bioshock 2. But, I will see you all later.